Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the best team comps that you and your squad are going to be wanting to run for Split 2 of Season 14 on Stormpoint. Because Stormpoint is not like any other map, a lot of teams have a hard time adjusting to it and they might not know what legends to be running, but don't worry because I've got you covered. We are going to be breaking down one team comp for every playstyle. It doesn't matter if you're an edge team, a zone team, or even a hybrid team, we have you covered. But if you guys want a new gaming computer, then listen up. We're happy to introduce today's video sponsor, COOLMYRIG. They're giving away one of their gaming PCs worth a few $1,000s, and you guys are the first to learn about it. They're not widely known, so your odds of winning are actually quite high. It is an amazing machine, a 12th gen Intel i7 processor, 32 gigs of RAM, NVIDIA 3070 Ti GPU, and a custom built water cooling loop. It's really everything you'll ever need. Every dollar spent on their website gives you one entry point to the giveaway. The more you spend, the more likely you'll be to win this amazing gaming PC. They've got merch, keychains, water cooling parts, as well as digital products for your phone and desktop. Remember, the more you spend, the higher chance you have to win. If you guys want to follow their Instagram page for more info, the link for it will be down below. But okay, let's jump right into these team comps now. For the first one we're going to be starting with is Zone. Now this is for a team that wants to land safely, loot up, get the stuff that they need, and then hard rotate to an endgame spot. You're more focused on getting placement points rather than killing everyone in sight. Now for this team comp, you're going to be looking to pick up Wraith, Valkyrie, and Watson or Caustic. Starting off with Wraith, she is a fantastic legend. She's very good in a lot of different situations, especially she's great for endgame with those small micro repositions that your team needs if the circle does pull away from you. On top of that, she has a bunch of stuff that she can do with her kit, like portal dancing to buy your team time, or even play very aggressive off angles because if something goes wrong, she has her get out of jail free card with the phase. A lot of the legends cannot pull off the stuff that Wraith pulls off, and that is a very good reason as to why she's always been a go-to pick in the meta. Ever since the game has come out, Wraith has been a very highly picked legend, and there's a very good reason for that. She is very strong, especially for zone players. Now the next legend in this team comp is Valkyrie, and even with her nerfs, Valkyrie is still a very good pickup. With how big Stormpoint is, you really need her to make some of those rotations if the zone pulls hard away from you. If not, then you're going to be a little bit late on your rotations and you might not get the building that you need in order to win the game. She also is able to give your team a ton of information. She can scan beacons, and don't overlook her passive. As you're flying around the map trying to get to a new spot for endgame, you can see where teams are playing. Even if you don't see them yourself, if you have line of sight on them, Valkyrie will ping them out, and then you can see if where you're landing is actually safe or not. You'd be surprised how many times that this has actually saved me and my squad in game. We'll be flying somewhere, not really paying attention as much as we should be to the spot that we're landing in, Valkyrie pings it, and then we're able to swerve off and save ourselves. If it works for me, it'll definitely work for you. And the last legend of this team comp is Caustic or Watson. Now these two are interchangeable, it really just depends on who you and your squad want to have. But you need a strong defensive legend when playing zone. You need to make it as hard as you possibly can for teams to push you, and if you're bunkered up enough, a lot of teams will actually just say that it isn't worth the hassle. Now these legends are actually also very good with the smaller circles and some of the end games that can happen. I do prefer Caustic in some of the smaller circles because his grenade is a little bit more offensive and that's how I like to play, but Watson is also very good and can really clutch up some situations with her generator. But again, this is really up to you and who you and your team want to have. Both of them have their strengths and weaknesses, both of them have their ups and downs. Think about it with your team a little bit, maybe try playing both of them, see who you enjoy having on your team a little bit more and go from there. But okay, what if you're not a zone team? What if you like to be a little bit more aggressive? Well, for that you're going to be looking to play edge. Now this is for the teams that just want to run at everything. This is a little bit more of a risky playstyle because of how placement points and kills work off of each other. If you get a lot of kills but you don't place high, they aren't really worth as much. But if you're able to rack up those massive amount of kills and still place high, then you can get insane RP gains from this. Now for this team, you're going to be looking to pick up Horizon, Ashe, and Newcastle. Now, Horizon is a very strong legend right now, especially when it comes to ending fights quickly, and ending fights quickly is very important in this game. Her black hole is easily able to solo win fights with just a couple nades paired with it. And the amount of situations that you can use to think outside the box with the black hole is insane because of how it works with buildings and terrain and all that kind of stuff. Horizon is the go-to pick for someone who wants to take fights because of all the opportunities that she can open up for you and your team. And she also does have that panic button in the form of her ultimate. If you're getting pushed or you don't know what to do, just throw your ultimate. It usually kind of works out for the team. But the second legend of this team is Ashe, and Ashe is a very underutilized legend when it comes to edge teams. With her, you are able to see where every single team is fighting, and that is very key for an aggressive team. You know where to rotate for third parties, and you can also tell if your fight is more or less likely to get 3P'd because you know what side of the map has a ton of fighting on it. If you see teams dying left, right, and center, you know that that is a very hot zone in the map, and you can either run straight to it to get more kills or just avoid it completely. Her ultimate is also very good on Stormpoint because it isn't limited by the verticality of the map. She can still have some very strong plays with it. Being able to jump on opportunities or take high ground from a team in the blink of an eye with Ashe Portal is very strong, and don't overlook it. And speaking of overlooking things, that's where our third legend, Newcastle, comes in. Something that a lot of edge teams overlook is the ability to reset quickly after fights. A lot of people try to stack 3 offensive legends on the team and run everything down, because if you have 3 offensive legends, you end fights quicker and you don't really need to do anything else. But a legend that can give you a little bit of breathing room is very key for a good edge team, and right now there is no stronger legend than Newcastle when it comes to that. Being able to create multiple forms of cover and move while reviving helps teams out a bunch when it comes to edge play. And the downside of a lot of the supports in this game is that they don't have any forms of mobility, so if they get caught out in a fight, they're probably dead. But with Newcastle being able to jump to teammates with his ultimate, that isn't an issue for him as much. So he can actually have a ton of different uses in fights by even taking off angles and being a little bit more of an aggressive support. Newcastle is very overtuned right now, so abuse him while you can. And now moving into our hybrid play, this is for a team that does not care if they are center zone, edge of ring, or just kind of whatever. They play whatever is dealt to them and make do with what they have. If they're center zone, they'll play it. If they're edge, they'll run it teams. They just go with the flow, and for this, you're going to want to take Wraith, Seer, and any defensive legend. Now, Wraith is the same as the zone team, very strong, great in a ton of situations, just an overall good legend. But for Seer, he is the best scan legend right now. Constant wall hacks and fights, the ability to cancel heals and revives, giving out a ton of information with how much health the enemy has, and his heartbeat sensor is a lifesaver on Stormpoint. A lot of teams like to hide in the cracks and crevices of this map, waiting to jump on teams as they're rotating without suspecting anything. But with Seer, that isn't an option for the enemies. He actually counters those strategies flat out and can even turn them around for some easy KP. If you want to scan legend on your team, the go-to is Seer. But for the last legend, I do say that you can pick any defensive legend, and I mean it. It does not matter if you want to run Gibraltar, Newcastle, Watson, or Caustic, they all do fit here. Now, if you pick somebody like Watson and you're trying to play a little bit more edge, you do have to be a little bit on the careful side, but it can still work. Your team is going to have a few holes in it, but as long as you are aware of that and play around it, you can still work wonders with this kind of team comp. The defensive legends are all pretty strong in the game right now. They do their jobs extremely well. Apart from Newcastle being just a little bit overpowered right now, the other defensive legends are in very good spots, and this is probably the most balanced we've seen the defensive pool. But now that you guys know one team comp for every playstyle, let me know in the comments what you guys think about them and what kind of team comps you're going to be playing this split. I do read every comment that we get on these videos, so let me know down below. And with all this being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.